Putin, the Russian's president, he's passed a law that any Russian who grows or sells genetically modified foods is to be considered a terrorist. Whew. He's even giving land away to Russians who will grow food organically, non-GMO. You put his name and GMO in Google that and you'll read the spiel. He says, we Russians look across at the West, over-vaccinated, over-medicated, overfed, sitting in front of boxes every night in their lounge rooms, eating food that has no nutrients, he said, and we know it's weakening the West. Is he right? Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Monsanto is so powerful and so wealthy and so big, they win every court case where Australians want GMO to be labelled on the products. Happens in America too, it's unfortunate. So how do you know? Well, you don't, unless you buy organic. You see, if an organic farmer uses genetically modified seed, they lose their organic status. So grow as much as you can yourself. And the more Aussies that buy organic, the more organic will be available. One organic tomato will give you 9 times the iron of a conventionally grown tomato. So you get much more value for your money, even though organic is more expensive. Genetically modified food happens when the DNA of 2 different species are spliced together to create, for instance, DNA of the tomato with the DNA of an Atlantic salmon, hoping to create a tomato that grows in the snow, but actually it doesn't grow in the snow. And it has 5 centres instead of 1, and there's all these strange things happening, and when the person eats that tomato, it breaks down to molecules that your body cannot recognise and has the ability to damage your DNA.
Alright, Shalom, this is your brother Yawanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Quadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. Alright, may the blessing of election be upon your house. This is Ezekiel 4:13. Alright, it reads, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. And that word defiled there goes back to being impure in a religious sense. Or when you go down to the Strong's definition, it'll say pertaining to Levitical animals and the dietary law, so to speak. All right, so this is a curse that was put upon us. This is kind of, I would say, in conjunction with Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, when it says that we will have to go to our enemy for want and need of all things, and hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. So this is, another thing that you could say, hey, look, what people don't have any jurisdiction over their food. They don't have a land they could go to and grow their own food. They don't have, any kind of infrastructure onto where they could nourish themselves. And this devil, he basically feeds majority of the world, but a lot of nations, man, they still have their own land they could go back to. They have some kind of infrastructure where they could eat, relatively or substantially better than we do, or relatively healthier than we can eat, right? But you see these two, the two sides of the same coin getting ready to go head up. So you got the East with Russia, and they're against, the deterioration of the people, of the minds and bodies of the people. Okay? And then you have, the West, who are pushing this New World Order, which is, its goal is to make complete slaves out of the people, especially the nation of Israel. All this is geared towards the nation of Israel, because in order for their kingdom to become a forever kingdom instead of a temporary one, because going back to Jacob and Esau, when Esau received his blessing after the real blessing was given to Jacob, his kingdom wasn't, foretold to be eternal. It was only for a time. All right, but he wants to change that. So he has to get the Lord's people out of the way. He has to get the people that were given the promise out of the way. All right, so, they're trying to do whatever they can to override prophecy. Is it going to work? Well, of course not. The scriptures tell us that it won't work. And that's why we have such confidence. Because the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. And, regardless of what this devil does, however it looks, with our carnal eyes, we know it doesn't matter what our carnal eyes see. It matters what the Lord says. Okay? And having that train of thought is going to, deliver us out of any situation. So, let's get this article here. All right, so this is from the Library of Congress.gov. All right, it says Russia full ban on food with GMOs. All right, I'm gonna jump down, start here, second paragraph. All right, it says the new law imposes a ban on foodstuffs produced using genetically modified plants or animals. As stated in the new law, the legislation strengthens measures aimed at monitoring of all types of activities associated with GMOs, preventing release of GMOs into the environment. Because, it affects the people, the minds of the people. It can affect the land when you're planting GMO seeds and stuff into the ground. All right, affects the fertility of the land. So it's created by the wicked, and the wicked, he's a cancer in the earth. When you go to Habakkuk 2, it tells you, the effect that he has on the people and the earth. Let's actually just go get it. This is Habakkuk 2, and I'll start at verse 3. All right, it reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." Okay, so right now we're seeing, the wicked is being revealed. We've woken back up to our heritage. We're able to completely dissect the end time prophecies. So, we see clearly, much more clearly than, the men that were given those visions, way back then. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." And that's the main ingredient for us to weather this storm that's coming. Verse 5, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, his philosophy or his way." The impossible meat, the GMO foods, the artificial, nutrients. It's not nutrients. It's really just death. But that's a part of his way. That's a part of what he pushes in the earth. Okay? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right? And America has, or the West, they try to push this wine on everybody. They've set up embassies in every nation under heaven, advocating for their way, destabilizing governments, setting up puppet leaders, all right, to establish their way in the earth, the way that's contrary to the Lord's way. Okay? Who enlargeth his desire as hell. Hell is a living condition. The living condition they create upon the earth is counterproductive to life, and is as death. There you go. And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So you see, this man, he is the cancer in the earth, and that's what the scriptures tell you. That's not something that's biased. The people that will be in rulership when the Lord returns are prophesied to be Edomites. Okay. And if you had to say, okay, what lineage or line of people are ruling today? And if you look at the things that they're doing, like trying to establish, a system where you will need a Karakba. He fits all the prophecies for the wicked the same way we fit all the prophecies for the nation of Israel. Okay? So man, you have the stage for WW3 being set up. And, it starts with the moral compass, or, the way of life that each side stands for. Okay? And it's been happening a long time, and it's getting ready to boil over. And this is all to our benefit, because the sooner this place goes down, the sooner the kingdom of heaven can be established. All right? Because what we're supposed to be seeking for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Now, I want to qualify a statement I made earlier in the video, speaking on how Esau's kingdom is temporary and ours is eternal. When the scriptures talk about an everlasting kingdom, it only talks about it in regards to the kingdom of heaven upon the return of our Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's go to Psalms 145 and 13. It says, "Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations." Then we go to Daniel 7 and 14, all right, because it goes into all the kingdoms that were ruled before the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. So you go to Daniel 7 and 14, and when it talks about our kingdom, again, it's referenced as being an eternal kingdom, right? All right, verse 14. "And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed." Now, in reference to Esau's kingdom, it always talks about it ending, how it's going to come to a halt, right? The fashion in which it's going to come to a halt, the wars is going to be fought to end it, all that. And it tells you that blatantly here in 2 Ezra 6 and 9 says, "For Esau is the end of the world," meaning the end of the age, or his dominion. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right? Also in the same book, 2 Ezra 2 and 35, it tells you this, what? "Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you evermore." So our kingdom is forever, his is temporary, and he seeks to change that, which is why he pushes all this wickedness, and he does everything contrary to the Lord. One, because he hates the Lord, all right? And he was created to hate the Lord in righteousness, all right? The scriptures tell you in Proverbs, the Lord created all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. All right. And two, because he knows if he can get the children of Israel the furthest he possibly can away from his power and eventually chip them, then he can override the prophecy, which he will not succeed at. All right. So I've seen that clip this morning, and I want to respond to it. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.